It's been a few days since the last video that you guys saw about number 14 and her adopted calf, so let me try to get you caught up. The bad news is that the milk supply on the cow is still questionable, and it appears to be pretty light to me. But the good news is that I dare say she has completely accepted this calf as her own. I catch her out here licking it. She's always humming to it. She's protecting it. Like if Callie gets near the fence, she gets very agitated. And although I have not witnessed it, I'm pretty sure that she is letting the calf nurse because its interest in my bottle every day is less and less. I did get 14 in the chute one time and assist the calf with nursing off of her, which worked fine. But what I have learned is that if I give the calf a 3/4 bottle instead of a full bottle, that once she finishes drinking that really kind of invigorates her, and then she runs over to 14 and tries to start nursing. So I think this is a better way to do things rather than locking the cow up every day. We just need to motivate the calf to kind of get in there and get it done. So in this video, we will be taking care of these two and try to keep moving them in the right direction. But the other main goal for this video is to get the fly sprayer out, get it up and running and ready to go. That's what's going on today on Farmer Tyler Ranch. Things are definitely moving in the right direction. You can see the calf is able to latch onto the cow, and she more or less lets it. She's not kicking the calf away, but she is just nervous. She doesn't like being in here by herself. I was thinking she'd kind of be over that by now. But the big problem is that the cow just will not really hold still for the calf. So I brought a little solution. I hope I got some sweet feed here. We're gonna try to pour some of this into a pan and see if that'll make the cow hold still. So of course, by the time the cow finds a sweet feed, the calf is pretty much done trying to nurse. But that's okay, because you got to remember, this cow has never seen sweet feed in her life. There's no way that she could know when I put that pan down that that was going to be something that she would like. But right now she is learning that. Even with number 14 dancing around, she does get latched on, and I'm sure that she's getting something from her because she keeps trying. So she's getting some sort of a reward there. I think doing things this way is better. I'm not having to put the cow in the chute. The calf is learning how to nurse on its own without me helping it. Yet at the same time, we are making sure that the calf is still getting enough to eat. So my hope is that we'll do this for a few days, and after a little while the calf will no longer have interest in me or the bottle, and when that happens, then we know that it's getting everything it needs from mom, and at that point we should be able to let them back out with the other cows. Nobody ever said this was a fast process, and ironically, the reason that this cow does not want to hold still for the calf, I believe at this point, is because she's trying to protect it. She's trying to lead it away from me. She is really protective of that calf. That's why I lock her out while I bottle feed it, because she's given me that look a couple times that makes me think she's about ready to run me over. Boys, looks like you finished your bale. Let's go ahead and fill up these guys' feeder, and then I think I'm gonna try to hand spray them for flies. actually. Let me put the water in before I put the soap in so it doesn't foam so bad. Now I'll put the soap in. The permethrin is an insecticide. It's pretty self-explanatory why that's in there. I put the soap in because it also has an instant kill effect on insects. But in this case, I also put it in because I think that it increases the residual effect of the permethrin. Because the soap is not going to evaporate off of there as quickly as like water would. Maybe it doesn't do anything, but I put it in there. When I mix the stuff up for the sprayer later, I will not put permethrin in there because the cow sprayer just, you know, sprays all day long. And we've got these cats running around. I see them out in the corral once in a while. And permethrin and cats do not mix. So we don't want to take a chance of, you know, somebody getting sick from that. I kind of got a chuckle because it seems like it's always been this way. Little boy doesn't mind if you spray him. You can spray him all day long. I really don't think he would care. Rivet, on the other hand, is mildly annoyed by it. He'll usually step away at first, but after about, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, he, you know, gets more focused on whatever he was doing before, and he'll let you spray him. The Bismarck bull, on the other hand, by far likes being sprayed the least out of these three, but if you pester him long enough, eventually he will hold still and let you do it. These guys look a lot better now. We'll use Rivet as the example because the flies really show up a lot more on him, but I don't see too many, not like before. Boy, and she's the one that really needs a fly spray. I wonder, she probably won't hold still long enough for me to do it, but I'm gonna try. Well, she is grumpy, but at least now she's grumpy without as many flies on her. I would like to spray the calf too, but I'm not gonna do it because that soap has a scent in it, and I'm sure the permethrin has a scent as well. And what I'm worried about is that if the cow smells the calf and all of a sudden it smells different than what she's expecting, that might undo some of the progress that we've made. So because of that, I'm just gonna leave it. The flies actually don't look terrible on the calf right now, but you know, that's just how it has to be. All right, well, the more flies I kill, the happier it makes me. So I think the next step is to get that fly sprayer functional, and you know, I got to thinking about it. Rather than work on it out there in the sun, I think I'm gonna pull it here in the barn. I've got a nice breeze going through here, it's shady. This would be a much better place to work. Well, first things first, I noticed a little wasp nest up here on this thing, and I probably better just go around and check everywhere before I start climbing on it and getting in places where I won't be able to run away so quick. The first thing that I want to do to the cow sprayer is to make it easier to fill. If you guys remember from last year, the way that I would have to fill this is I would climb up on the sprayer itself, get that lid off the top of the tank, and just put a hose in the top and fill it that way. It's perfectly doable, but it's just inconvenient, and you're perched up there, and it's just kind of dangerous, I guess, and kind of a pain, if I'm being honest. So what I plan to do is drill a hole. There's a flat spot in the tank up there that'll be perfect for this, and I'll put a bulkhead fitting in the tank, which will allow me to plumb some piping on around to the side of the frame and run it down to where I can get a hose hooked up. No going back now. Quick side note, I was walking down to the bullpen to get a hose clamp off of something to attach the pipe to the tube on the frame here, and I saw the calf nursing on the cow. Well, you can't actually see it, but you can tell by where the calf is standing, and I can hear it suckling from where I was at. So I'm pretty sure that she's latched on and eating, and she's on the good side of the quarters that actually produce milk. So I'm not going to walk down there right now. I just want them to continue what they're doing. I've got some zip ties I can use in lieu of hose clamps until we can get some. So now I'll put the quick connect back on for the hose. Now this piece would attach to the end of the hose itself, and then you can just clip that on and it'll hang there while it fills. Well, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. The valve is up here high enough that the cows really can't mess with it, and the rest of the pipe is up close on this frame where I don't think it's going to be something that's going to, you know, get messed with. So yeah, that's going to be a lot easier to fill this tank. Now, yes, unfortunately, I am still going to have to climb up there in order to put the soap in the tank, but that's honestly not that big of a deal. What I really didn't like about filling this is I would have to stand up here and hold the hose, and, you know, for as long as it took to fill it up. And then you would always make a big mess with water everywhere, because as soon as you walk away, the hose flies out, and, you know, it's just, all in all, wasn't very good. This is going to be a lot better. On to the next thing, and I'm thinking the probably most important thing that's got to be fixed next is one of these arms has broken off, and I'm not really sure where I would source this spring that broke, so I've got to think of a different way to get it back together. I've got a couple of ideas here ranging from basic to complicated, and the basic idea would be to find a small, you know, like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch diameter hose clamp that would fit around the existing part of the wire here that is not broken off, and just use that hose clamp to fasten this onto it. I could try to JB weld, just glob a bunch of JB weld here on the spring and try to fix it that way. I'm not sure that would last very long. I think the hose clamp would last longer. And then the other idea that I had is taking this little Allen screw out, removing the broken part of the spring completely, and then making like a little plate that would fit in here that you could bolt down with the existing Allen screw, and then it would like stick out a little bit, and you could then clamp the arm to that plate. That would definitely be the strongest way to do it, but the most complicated and time-consuming fix for sure. Did somebody say complicated and time-consuming? Yeah, I'll do that. Of course, I don't have any Allen wrenches here with me, so kids, this is not how you do things, you know, unless this is how you have to do them. I think it worked. Sometimes doing things the wrong way save you a trip back to the shop, so I guess it's worth it. Okay, we probably don't want to lose that. And we probably don't want to lose this. And then we got, oh, is that locked in there? Why would they do that? That doesn't make sense. No, it's just stuck in there. Okay. Alright, well, there's that. Well, I was able to get the Allen screw out, and I got this little plate. This was to like hold the spring down, and as it happens, this will be a perfect template for me to cut out a new piece to put in there that will stick out a little bit and we can clamp the arm to. Well, I just got back from the shop and I was using this little template to measure out to make like a new piece to bolt in there. And then it dawned on me, if you look at this, notice the hole is off to one side, and why couldn't I just flip this around and put it in backwards? That would give me a little tab that was sticking out that should be plenty of room to clamp the arm back on there. So I'm going to try that first, because that should be a lot, well, not should be, that will definitely be a lot easier if it works, and I think it'll be pretty strong too. Before, this would have gone on this way, but I'm thinking now we can just put it on like this. I mean, that should work, right? Clamp it on there or there. Well, it seems to work. Haven't yet decided if I'm happy with that or not. It's something that I'll keep an eye on, but I think for now it's good enough. So let's move on to the next item. I think those are mostly the big issues that I knew I was up against with this. I think at this point I can pull it out and fill it up, and then we can, you know, check the spray nozzles and all that stuff, but also the charge controller. Can't really check that in here because I need to get some light on that solar panel to figure out if that thing is working or not. The screen is off, but it could just be that the screen is not working and the charge controller is. So let's get it outside, test out our new fill port here, and see what we can learn. With the hose turned on and the valve closed, I'm not seeing, oh yeah, there's a little leak there, but that's okay. Let's open this up. We should hear water. Now the reason that I'm not too worried about this leak, although it'd probably be pretty easy to fix, but since this is below the valve, this never really holds pressure except for that moment between the time that I turn the hose on and the time that I open the valve. If it drips a couple times, that's totally fine. So we probably won't worry about it. The water's about here. Let's turn it off. Now I got the faucet off, but this is still under pressure a little bit, so it might spray some. You're right in my face. Might have to do something about that. So we are on top of the cow sprayer now. I'm going to take a voltage reading off the battery. Oh yeah, so we're at 15.3 volts right now, which means that it is actively charging. Actually, I think this means that the charge controller is not working properly, because off camera I covered the solar panel and the voltage dropped to like 14, a little over 14 volts. So the charge controller should not be commanding that to continue charging when the battery is that full. At least that's the way I understand it. So I have another charge controller at home. I might just throw it on there and see what happens. But let's go ahead and fire this thing up and see if everything else is working. So first I'm going to test and see if the agitator pump is working, and by doing that I'm just going to cycle the pump, pull the hose out of the tank, and see if anything's dribbling out. So I thought might be the... Well, I know there's no obstructions in the line or the pump, because you could see when I put the hose up in the intake tube there, it blasted everything out and everything was clear. But the pump just can't, it doesn't have enough like lift to pick that water up when it's low, because I think there's air in the line. But I bet if I filled the tank all the way up, it would take a lot of the air out of the line, and then I bet it would work. It just needs to pick up prime once, and then it'll keep it as the tank goes down. But right now it's not working. So let's try filling the tank up and see if that fixes it. And in the meantime, while that's filling, we can check on everything else. The sprayer has 3 nozzles on the top, 1 nozzle on either side, and then 3 nozzles on the bottom. So let's see if any of them work or if all of them work. So the sprayers are not working. There is a filter on the end of that pickup tube. I want to see if maybe I pull that off or clean it, if that helps matters, and if not, then I guess we'll have to dive deeper. Filter's out, did not look dirty, but let's see if, you know, maybe it was just restricting it or something. Well, I got up and forced some water through that main pump as well, and let's see if that did anything. Ah, there we go. I got the main pump working again. I got the agitator pump working again. And it makes me think that I probably need to spend a little bit more time putting this thing to bed at the end of fly season, and maybe I wouldn't have these problems. But really the only thing that's left, I think, is these 3 nozzles on the bottom are plugged, and the way they have this set up, I need some more tools to take that beam off of there so I can access the nozzles to clean them. But that's gonna have to wait for another day, because there's other things to do. Vamos! Well, I guess that shows you about how hungry they are. They just walk up to the new grass and stop and stare at it. Even continue to eat a little bit in the old paddock, which I never understand. And it looks like there's a couple of calves way down at the end that are probably not going to get up unless we walk down there and wake them up. So we better get to it. Now you guys are coming, huh? Well, at least these calves are finally getting with it. I guess I'm not going to have to walk all the way down here. Just most of the way. It does make me wonder if I need to make some adjustments here, because, you know, if the cattle won't even move into the new paddock, we're probably not exactly doing something right. And I've got a few choices. I could come out here and move all of these fences over and make each paddock a little bit smaller and do things that way. Then I would end up needing an extra reel or 2, or I'd be constantly moving them all summer long, which I could do. But I don't particularly like moving fences, and I feel like, you know, if you're doing that all the time, which it seems like a lot of people do, I don't know. I mean, for me, that's just not really the best use of my time. So if I don't want to move wire, what's my other choice? Well, I could change the amount of time that the cattle are in the paddocks. Come on, you guys, let's go. You guys can do that in the new paddock. Oh shoot, I was busy talking to the camera, I wasn't paying attention, and 2 calves ran past me going the wrong way on the wrong side of the wire. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, let's try it again. Back to what I was talking about though. So if I'm not going to change the size of the paddocks, then I can change the amount of time that I leave them in here. Right now the cows are on a 24-hour schedule, meaning they get a new paddock every 24 hours. Well, we could raise that. 48 hours might be a little bit much, but from a management standpoint, it would be easier because I'm moving them the same time of day, just every other day instead of every day. But I think a better fit for the grass and the paddock size would be like a 36-hour move. There we go. We finally got it. Look how happy they are. I like that idea. I think we'll try 36-hour moves here on these next several paddocks and see how that works. You know, if it doesn't, we can go back to doing it the way we're doing it now. Well, here we go again. So I'm very interested to see how this goes this evening because like I told you and showed you before, I definitely caught this calf nursing midday without any help from me. So this will be, I guess, a good indicator of how much milk this cow is making. So yeah, let's see what happens. What's up? You're getting up to see me. That means you're probably hungry. Whether it's a good idea or not, I'm not sure, but I'm not going to separate the cow for this go around because I really want the calf to just go directly to her as soon as that bottle's empty. So if you guys see me like bail over this gate really quickly, see, she's not a super big fan of me or what we do. It's cool, Mama. Don't worry about it. I'm not hurting her. Drinking. Make me kick you in the nose. I gotta get out of here quickly. Mama. Maybe. So that's about it. This seems to be working, you know, and I think I've mentioned before, my hope is that eventually I bring a bottle out here for the calf and she's just not interested and refuses it. I know even though I did see the calf nurse all by itself without any intervention from me earlier today, I still want to keep bringing it the bottle just because I don't really know about what her milk supply is. So by doing things this way, I know that the calf is getting enough to eat, and then it kind of stimulates that response and makes it nurse on her a little bit more aggressively, which I think ultimately will lead to that becoming her primary food source. At least that's the hope. Well, I'll tell you one thing we don't need to worry about, and that is the fact that this cow has absolutely accepted the calf as its own. I thought this would be the hardest part. It actually didn't end up being that way. What's really become the challenge with all of this is her milk supply. You got to remember, her calf died about 10 days prior to me trying to graft this calf onto her, And during those 10 days, I had no idea any of this was gonna happen, or else I would have been milking her in the chute and keeping everything clear. But, you know, the way things turned out, I feel like she was kind of in the process of drying up, and we're trying to bring her back. And I'm just hoping that I can do it. But I guess that's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys, and I hope I'll see you again on Farmer Tyler Ranch.